Gather round, ye children, come. Listen to the old, old story of the power of death undone by an infant born of glory, Son of God, Son of Man.
I missed the point. Like I'm your classic preacher's kid. I grew up going to all the Sunday school and VBS and stuff, and it wasn't until I was much older that I started kind of putting together the pieces of all the things that my parents had been impressing on me and all the things that I'd been learning. And it wasn't until Bible college that it occurred to me what an amazing story the Bible is.
He had a story to tell. It wasn't like he kind of had to, he had some experience of, watching his kids and so decided to write about it. There was the Bible tells the story.
It has both the good storytelling and also the ability to find yourself in that story, the personal connection.
In contrast to most concerts that you see, there's usually nobody clapping in between songs. There's a very brief pause. It moves really quickly, and I think it gives people that feeling of being wrapped up in something.
Series of songs that tell the story of why we need Jesus. But it's beautifully lyrically told, brilliantly musically told, with just the right, pauses.
The ebb and flow of it is so good because it really does pull you through the story.
He's just such a great writer, and his songs, they talk about sort of the age-old stories that we know, that we've heard in Sunday school, or maybe that people haven't heard. But he says it in such an accessible way that everybody gets it. We know exactly what he's talking about, but it's so poetic, and it's so beautiful, and it's so thoughtful and rich.
I just think when you hear truth and you hear it in such a way that you think, oh, this person is actually just interested in truth here. They're just interested in putting this idea across.
And just the way it's all seamed together and tells that story so well. I just thought, man, how in the world did he do this?
Lord, let your love hover near. Don't let your sweet mercy pass over us. Let this blood cover over us.
Man, I wish there was a way for us to create something that would remind people what the point of it all was. That idea tied in with the idea of wanting to do a concept album kind of gave birth to this idea that what if the Christmas story was one that was told.
Pass over us. Let this blood cover over us.
The mode of song is a really effective way to tell a story.
It's a story about a woman having a baby, but it's a woman that was a little girl, and she had the Son of God.
It really compromises nothing on any level to me. I mean, I think it's one of the best pieces of art I've seen in a long time.
Andrew's prolific as a lyricist. He's a great craftsman of lyrics.
At the core, everyone was about the song and the lyrics and the kind of purpose. There's a purpose behind what they're doing, and I think that's why this particular group is always so excited to be a part of the Christmas project, because the songs are so good. It's not just fluff stuff that was written to sell a bunch of CDs or to get on the radio.
Art can be rich or poor. The main thing about art is that it communicates to the heart. Andrew's one of those kind of artists.
It's great music, it's great songwriting. It's songs that they speak to people's hearts.
It wasn't until we were making the record that I actually got to kind of sit and really listen to all the songs, and I just lost it. I mean, that's the only time I've ever cried because of just listening to somebody else record. And I mean, just like literally just kind of bawling. And Andy came in and was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, it's so good.
For the girl on the ground in the dark, every beat of her beautiful heart was a labor of love.
That because of the nature of the songs telling a story that way, it makes the whole greater than the sum of the parts, even though that I think that some of the parts is pretty great too.
Getting together with so many friends, so many talented people in telling such a great story.
I mean, last year we were all sort of sitting on the side of the stage just watching everybody else.
This is a chance that we all get once a year to see the people whose music that we love. We get to see them perform.
A once a year community that gets together and does this thing.
Backstage, just the camaraderie with everybody.
And he's so good about creating community.
So Derek Webb, who has been a significant part of my history, was willing to come and sing a song in the show, and his wife Sandra McCracken, and it just kind of grew into this really beautiful fellowship of people.
You know, real sweet people. And
The thing about it is once people say yes, they always say yes. They keep on coming back.
Oh, the Lamb of God who comes to take away our sin.
Andrew took the Christmas show on the road first with Siler's Bald, and then I suppose there was a year or maybe 2 years of not doing that, and then last year we brought it back. It was the first time that I had been involved in taking it on the road, and it was a great group of people. We just had such a great time. It was Andy Osenga and Gabe and I and Marcus, Laura.
I'm very excited. It's very much a privilege to be out here.
It was probably the most fun group of people that I've been on the road with in a really long time.
The only real difference to me in taking it on the road was just the actual road part of it, getting to be with my chums and getting to enjoy it. Because the sort of the effect of the show on people is the same. It's just fun to do it night after night.
We used to tour the show, but we didn't perform it in Nashville. I believe the first year we toured the show. We didn't have a Nashville show at all.
At the end of the year, we had this tour looming on the calendar that we were going to have to do this Christmas tour, only I wasn't finished with it yet. So I remember scrambling and trying to finish up some of these songs that I wanted to write to tell this big story, and we didn't finish.
As a whole, what you see now is much better than what you would have seen, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever it was. So.
These songs aren't Christmas songs. They're songs about Christ. And we can play the song January 3rd and nobody really notices that we're singing about the birth of Christ because we're wrapping up the whole story all together.
This is really not about Christmas as much as it is about Jesus, and I think that's just what's so different about it.
There's just nothing left out. I mean, he really does cover all. He gives you all the history.
We just want to be about something that we really love, that we really feel proud of, and that we really feel like is glorifying to God.
For it to be so hugely emotional by the end of 45 minutes of songs, and for everyone to get what has happened without having to explain it I've never seen anybody do that.
Probably the most rewarding thing that I get to do in the course of a year as far as music is concerned.
Seeing the audience's response, and they look as happy about being there as we did.